So, I'm somewhat healthy, and I want to talk about Chris Paul and Trayce Jackson-Davis starting for the foreseeable future, which probably means until Draymond gets back, which could be actually sooner than later. But we still, of course, don't know how many games has Draymond actually missed now. When we look at Draymond Green, he has missed the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10 games already. Which means he could be actually back pretty soon, because somewhere they said it should be around 12 to 15 games missed, which I think is a little low, because I don't really know how can you calculate the therapy or the work he's done, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see for that. Nonetheless, we'll see Chris Paul, Steph Curry backcourt, essentially putting Steph Curry at the shooting guard spot. When we look at the lineups, which let's look at the advanced numbers for the Warriors here. I'm pretty sure the Steph Curry, Chris Paul lineup still have actual positive net ratings, which I find really interesting, to just put it that way, because the most played lineups with Chris Paul and Steph have a positive net rating, even though Loon is in 2 of them. I just find it so hard to believe, actually, and I don't know why. And of course, here you have Kuminga and Trayce with them, and that lineup actually does really well, which is the new starting lineup. So I guess, even though defensively I just don't think it makes sense. And in some of these lineups, you can see how poorly defensively they can be in small sample sizes. But overall, it's still a pretty small sample size when we look at the minutes. But I think having these two just puts so much pressure on our defense out there. Of course, Chris Paul has to be guarding the point guard because he's the smallest one, which means Steph gets to be put on somewhat of a scorer, maybe a wing, right? And that always disrupts your defense. While Clay does a really good job defending isolations, actually, and has done really well defensively on bigger guys. Funny enough, as you can see, he has the lowest points per play, which is the PPP, points per possession, which is one of the better percentiles in the league, and then there's Dario, which is an intriguing number, because I feel like Dario has been getting cooked, but that might be more of a pick and roll thing rather than an isolation thing. But as we look at that, we can see that the lineups have actually had a really good net rating. They have actually had a solid pace. The offense and defense has looked actually better than the eye test, right? Or at least for me. I can't speak for everyone, of course. For me, these numbers just do not match the eye test, and I want to see how it looks in the last month or so. Where are we here? And when we look at Curry and Paul, and it's, wait, did I actually? I'm not sure. Let me do it again. Curry, Uri, and Paul. The starting lineup actually has a really good net rating, even though against Orlando, which we play tonight, I'm really scared about it. With Clay and Loon, with Kuminga out there, it actually has also a positive net rating. So both lineups are actually a net positive. But this starting lineup does play at a really small pace. It just feels like the pieces don't fit once again. Chris Paul with Steph feels like it shouldn't be a thing defensively, even though the defense on paper actually doesn't look as bad, which I just find astounding, to be quite honest with you. But the numbers can be a little misleading, obviously. And of course, like I said, Chris Paul being out there means that Steph has to be actually better defensively, because he has to guard a shooting guard or a small forward or just, somebody different. You want to put Chris Paul on the smallest player of the opposing team, not Steph Curry. And that has a trickle effect on the whole of course, on the whole, essentially lineup. And then you have Clay and Kuminga out there at the 3 and the 4 spot, which Clay, like I said, at the 3 makes sense. Kuminga at the 4, it's a little questionable sometimes. But him and Trayce, with the way he's been rebounding lately, it makes more sense than not. And I wonder if we'll see Steph, Clay, Kuminga, Draymond, and Trayce once Draymond gets back. I wonder if it helps the defense, which it should, right? And if how much it hurts the offense. With Kuminga's 3-ball being, of course, inconsistent. You can argue Clay's 3-ball has been really inconsistent, but he still at least has the fear factor, and people will close out on him a lot. Then you have Trayce as a roller. Does the spacing get mucked up? But he's actually a vertical spacer, which means more love for Draymond. It could work really well. Nonetheless, I just find it intriguing. When you look at the reactions on the internet, you would think all the lineups are horrible and just have horrible net rating, and it makes no sense. Which they actually do not, right? And the most used lineups actually have good net rating. But the point still being is that the eye test does not match the numbers at all. When you think about especially the Heat game, who the fuck did we just play and lose to? Who was it actually? Am I tripping? Who did we play? Oh, Dallas. We played Luka, right? Which, of course, against Luka, which is a lengthier team, it does not make sense. I feel like it should still be a game-to-game thing, and against Dallas, you should want Moody out there for length. And I wouldn't mind seeing Steph, Moody, Kuminga, Clay, and Trayce as a starting lineup. I'm sorry, I'm still sick. I'm not sure if they actually played together. Have they actually played together? This is the lineup? No. Clay. That's the lineup. They played 1 minute and they did not score. Which is not a good sample size, of course. And with Wiggins, they actually had even... yeah, they barely played together, especially in these. I'm not sure if anything could help it. Nonetheless, it's intriguing. It's intriguing. And when we look at the general advanced numbers, in pace, the Warriors right now are number 13. Which is intriguing. I thought we would be actually a little slower. When you look at the last championship winning team, they were actually 15th in pace, which is intriguing. This video does not make much sense right now. I just don't have enough time to prepare. I'll do a deeper dive on this later on. I just wanted to check in before the Orlando game. I'm kinda excited about it. Kinda not, because, well, of course, Orlando strikes a lot of fear in me with their length and size and how they like to do with mismatches. And, of course, Steph and Chris Paul in the backcourt should be abused a lot, with Anthony Black being bigger, of course. Jalen Suggs is a menace defensively, which could take away Steph or Chris Paul altogether. And then you, of course, have those big wings defending Clay and Steph, or, of course, abusing Steph in post-ups. So I'm intrigued to see how we'll do there. Trey is continuing to start against Goga Bitadze, who has been sensational for the Magic, one of the most pleasant surprises of the season. And yeah, this was just a weird check-in. Anyway, as always, be kind to others. Love yourselves as much as possible. Love and be. Love and be. Love and be.